Hey guys, how you doing? Raymond here from the Raymond Report with another edition of Baseball Diamond Surf. And what we're going to do in this segment is we're going to take a look at some of the features we have to offer here at ATSstats.com and for Major League Baseball. And we'll see here today if we can find some value or some good picks for today, July 26th. But before we do, don't forget, the Raymond Report is where we hang our hat each and every day. And if you are new to sports betting, you know that there are fundamentals when it comes to handicapping sports. And my fundamentals in sports betting is value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability / injuries, and you got to use a disciplined money management system. And the Raymond Report scratches that itch, and you can find it each and every day right here at ATSstats.com. Also, if you go to ATS Stats and you click on MLB and you want to see the team's record so far, halfway point, how they do against division opponents, right? Division opponent is huge because some teams don't do well against division opponents. Some teams do pretty well. In fact, look at the Boston Red Sox down here. A B-type team in the Raymond Report, 48-48 on the season, but only have 12 wins against division opponent. But hello, you're in the American League East, so that's why sometimes it's tough depending on your division. But a team that's doing very well this season, when you look at their record, 48-48 now, they won last night, is Baltimore. Baltimore's having a pretty good season, but not a really good division record. But they can play a major role in the American League East, and they can play a bit of a spoiler down to August and September. Some of those teams trying to get a wild card spot, right? But the best team in baseball in the division opponent factor race is Houston. They are 32-16 against division foes. Yankees 32-16, that tough American League East division. Milwaukee 28-19, and there's the New York Mets 28-12. And we'll see them and if the Atlanta Braves have something to say about it. Also, the teams with the best over record versus division opponent, there's the Yankees again, 25-21. Pretty much balanced, though. I didn't find a lot of discrepancy when I looked at the over-under records here. For pretty balanced, so you got to give credit to the bookmakers, have done a good job. But when you look at the over-unders, you can see Houston 31-16 to the under versus the division opponents, 24-16 for Seattle. And nothing really to write home about, but Houston, look at that, 31-16 when it comes to the over-unders. All right, let's take a look at what has come in baseball the last 7 days in Major League Baseball. And if you're a favorite player like I am, I like to pick my spots to bet on teams. And I would say about 80% of my picks are probably favorites. But you can see the favorites that had the end of their run yesterday. 7-5 to the underdogs, 8-4 to the over, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days of favorites that carried the day. Look at this day on July 16, 15-1 to the favorites. I can guarantee you that's the day where the books probably got murdered because of all the favorites that won that day. And when you look at the 7-day average, 65.3% of the favorites have cashed in the last 7 days. And when it comes to the over-under, well, pretty much even Steven, 53.9% of the overs, 46.1 for the unders. So you can see we're in a neutral market when it comes to the overs. But when you're coming and talking about the under, same thing, neutral market. So fire away on your unit selections if you are betting over unders. And let's take a look at the Bears and Bulls report. And what I do in this segment, as you know, in the Raymond report, we talk about A, B, and C type teams. A type teams are teams with a 60% or higher win percentage. B type teams are 50 to 59.9. And the C type teams, the teams I say see you later because you're probably not going to make the playoffs. Well, you know what? There's not. There's used to be a lot more of them, but now I don't find there's that many. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 C type teams in the Raymond report, which is not too bad. It means you got a little bit of parity in the league. But the teams you want to stay away from right now that are in a bad cycle, and I look at, rule number 2, what do I talk about in the Raymond report? I talk about performance cycles. Well, this is the teams I think you want to stay away from right now. Boston and San Francisco. Even though Boston won last night, you just want to wait till they get back in a neutral cycle. Neutral means 3-4, 4-3 in the last 7. And the teams that are bullish, teams that are either 5-2, 6-1, and 7-0 in their last 7 games. We're talking about the Dodgers, Houston, and Toronto. Teams that are the team of the hour right now. All right, here's another segment here. We're going to talk about the 80% Club stats. These are trends are your friends, but they don't pay the rent. And you can see the Cleveland Guardians, 9-1 as an away team, coming off a 5-game road trip the last 2 years. So they're playing tonight against the Boston Red Sox. The Blue Jays, who were off yesterday, 9-1 to the over as a home team, coming off a win against an American League East Division opponent, which they did on Sunday against the Boston Red Sox, and one more for the road. Anytime the Tigers are a 160-180 home underdog coming off a win in Game 1 of a series since 1996, the under is 12-2 for the Tigers. All right. In rule number 1 of the Raymond Report, I always talk about value, and you always hear people, how do you determine value? How do you know if I got value in a game? Well, everything is in the eye of the beholder, right? And that's where I feel that the value lies. And I'll give you a few examples of what I think there's value tonight, or maybe undervalued when it comes to looking at team sports. Now, looking at the Atlanta Braves, they're on the road. They're a 120 favorite right now against Philadelphia, which I call a B-type team. And there's Atlanta right now. And if you look at Atlanta on the road against a B-type team, normally they're 132 when it comes to a line, 132.5, and tonight they're minus 120. So undervalue if you do like Atlanta. And let's take a look at the underdog roll for Philadelphia, and you just click on the underdog right here, and you look at Philadelphia at home against B-type teams. I got them listed at plus 122. You're getting plus 100, so they are undervalued as well. So you got two teams who are undervalued here tonight. I like the Phillies plus 100, and that's how I see if I have value or no value or fair market value with the teams that I'm handicapping. And again, you can get this by going to Tools, go to Value Report, and then pick the team, a favorite role or an underdog role, and then look at that team. Like tonight, you got the Yankees and the Mets. Now, the Yankees on the road normally against A-type teams, they're minus 126, and they're picking price, so minus 110. Another undervalued situation tonight. And then you got the New York Mets at home in an underdog role. Basically, it's a picking price, right? So if they were an underdog role, it'd be plus 110. If they're favorite, minus 127. And that's how you would determine if you have value tonight on all the games tonight in Major League Baseball. Speaking of Major League Baseball, I do a pick on every game each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. And if you want to follow my selections, I think I'm hitting like 56% on the season, and I'm having a pretty good run. And you can always follow my picks. All you got to do is go to bullpenpicks.com, go to most followed, look for Ron Raymond, click on follow my picks, and then click on following, and you will see my baseball picks for that day right here at bullpenpicks.com. All right, there you have it. That is Diamond Surfing for July 26th. Hope you have yourself a great rest of your Ruby Tuesday. Cheers.